Call to order the Douglasville City Council regular meeting, voting meeting for tonight, which is Monday, August 5th, 2024. Our invocation will be done by Elder Aaron Morris of Harvest for Christ Church, and after that, we'll have the Mayor Pro Tem lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation. Yes, ma'am. I apologize. Yes, ma'am. Come to the podium.
Everyone, please bow your heads. Almighty God, as we stand in awe of your goodness and mercy today, we invite you to be present amongst us all by the power of your Holy Spirit. Father, we declare that we love you. Thank you that you have made the way of love known through your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for the city of Douglasville and its appointed governed leaders. I ask that you continue to lead and guide them in making the best decisions for the community of Douglasville. Thank you, Lord, for the voices that are willing to fight for the betterment of this community. Lord, I declare that unity and oneness of mind will continue to prevail in this city. Thank you, Lord God, for every adult, young adult, and child that makes up this local body. Thank you for bringing everything to submission simply because we trust in you. Your goodness and mercy endures forever. Thank you for the success of all developments moving forward. Father God, your name is worthy to be praised, and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge, and Elder Morris, we appreciate the prayer and invocation that you've presented to us this evening. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm mayor of the city of Douglasville. I'd like to welcome you to this city council meeting. This is a regular voting meeting where action will be taken on the items that were discussed last Thursday at our legislative work session. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from the citizens and delegates section for you to discuss your business. I'll just give you a few protocol issues that we go over for every meeting so that we'll all be on the same accord and we can flow expeditiously through the meeting. I ask that you'll please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. Please do not make comments from the audience or speak from the audience. If you have comments or any concerns, please come to the microphone and give us your information at the appropriate time. We will not accept these personal attacks that may occur if you talk about individuals by calling out names or groups of individuals. Please direct all of your comments and concerns to the committee chair. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud, react to speakers, speak from the audience, carry on a conversation, or otherwise be disruptive when you're in the meeting. If you have any concerns or comments when you're at the microphone, please at that time give us those concerns. And when you're at the microphone, just pay attention and address all of your issues to the person, to that committee person again. We're only required to accept public comments during the required public hearings. And if you have a cell phone or electronic device, we ask that you please put those in silent mode or turn those off during the meeting so they will not be disruptive. Now, I will go over how the meeting will run, and after that, we'll get to the agenda. The agenda items will be handled in the following manner. The committee chairperson will read his or her agenda items. Then that person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. We ask that you will not repeat the information that was presented on Thursday. We'll receive new information unless a council member or myself ask for clarifying questions. After that, the committee chairperson will ask for comments or statements from the audience if it's a public hearing. There are 20 minutes for each item for those that are in favor of the item or for those that are in opposition. Each person or each side has 20 minutes and each person has 5 minutes to speak. If you do want to have a comment or concern or about agenda item, We ask that you would please fill out a speaker card. There are blue cards outside on the desk, and it will ask for your name and address. And when you come to the podium to speak, give us your name and address for the record, please. If you're speaking about an item and/or if you are an applicant or just presenting, we ask that you would give us your name and address for the record. This is not a question and answer format as far as debate. We're here to hear the information, to compile that information that we heard last Thursday at the work session and the information today to make our decisions. All righty, so the meeting will go a little differently than it did last Thursday. We'll probably move a little faster through the issues unless we have additional comments or concerns. And if you have anything that's printed, please give that to our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right, and she will make copies of that, or we'll have it loaded up to our iPad so that we can take that into consideration when we make our decisions. All right, now we are, the agendas, there are some printed ones outside on the desk if you need a printed copy, and/or you can follow us on the screen. We'll move on with the agenda. We've gone through the first 4 items, and now we're at approval of the agenda. I will open the floor for a motion for the adoption of the regular meeting agenda for August 5th, 2024. Open the floor for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. It's been, I believe it was Councilman Estes. Is that what you have, Madam City Clerk? Thank you. It's been properly moved in second for the adoption of the regular meeting for the agenda for tonight, tonight's meeting, which is August 5th, 2024. It's been properly moved in second. If we don't have any other questions or concerns, Councilman Estes.
He moved. I thought he moved. Did you move in second?
I made it, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. He's keeping us together. So I move to open the floor for adoption of the minutes. Councilman Estes, second. Do we have any questions or concerns about that? If not, all those in favor of adopting the regular meeting for tonight, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 24-215 is unanimously approved. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. I will open the floor for a motion to approve the minutes of July 11th, 2024, which we had a legislative work session, and the minutes of July 15th, 2024, for our regular meeting. That's item 24-219. Open the floor for a motion to approve.
Motion.
To approve.
Thank you so much, Coach. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second, moved by Councilman Watts and second by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Miller T. to approve item 24-219. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns about this item? Approval for the minutes. If not, we don't see any corrections or objections. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Item 24-219 is unanimously approved.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
point of order, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm not getting anything as far as to vote. I mean,
Madam City Clerk. IT is good when it works, technology.
I'm refreshing just to see that.
Maybe the refresh button. So we give council members an opportunity to refresh their iPad so that they can vote, and it'll be in the official minutes.
I'm good.
You're good now?
She's good.
Okay, great. So we'll move on. We don't want to drive through the stoplights or caution. All right, we're at the consent agenda. I will open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. It's been properly moved in second. Moved by Councilmember Estes, second by Councilmember Watts to approve the consent agenda as presented. We have any questions, comments, concerns about the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if we have time, probably at the end during other business, we might highlight that one of the items in there that has been brought to our attention a number of times by one of our citizens, and so we'll just kind of highlight that at the end.
Yes, sir. You're welcome to do that because I understand. We're going to make sure that we're listening, and convey that to our citizens, that we do listen to them and move best we can, when we can. All right. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda, item 24-043, is unanimously approved. Now we'll move on to the next item, and the next committee, which is item number 8 on your agenda, is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. Finance Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We suddenly have 2 items tonight.
Yes, sir.
And I'll read item A. Authorize the mayor to sign a purchase and sale agreement and all necessary closing documents for the city to purchase property located at 6758 and 6768 West Spring Street, Douglasville, Georgia, for the amount of $2 million. And Ms. Jackson, do you have anything to add to our item?
Just to add that the property at these 2 locations is the former Airway School Building in the downtown area. It's about 1.71 acres for both of these sites, but I can entertain any questions that mayor and council may have.
Thank you so much.
Anybody have any comments? I know we discussed this earlier. Yes, Madam Mayor, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I would ask a Deputy City Manager to give an overview for citizens who may not be up to speed and, you know, what we're doing, the purpose of us purchasing this property in the city of Douglasville, what it's adjacent to, and how it feeds into our comprehensive plan.
Yes, ma'am. So this property, it is right beside your current Parks and Recreation building, one of them, as well as it is across from the Town Green facility or the Greystone Amphitheater. So of course, purchasing this will help with future growth for any type of development, whether it's residential or commercial, in that location. So we're hoping that this helps drive development in the downtown area for the years to come. And then, of course, one thing I did fail to mention is the owner of this current facility will have until the end of September to make sure they vacate and remove any of the items that are currently in that school facility.
Thank you so much, Deputy City Manager. I'm not sure if it's appropriate for us to say anything else about, I know it's coming from general fund, but the balance of that, is that appropriate to say?
Yes, ma'am. Your next item, Ms. Karen Callen, your CFO and Assistant City Manager, will address exactly where it will come from. There is a budget amendment item, but yes, ma'am, it will come from general fund.
All right, thank you so much. So we're all on the same page and have a good understanding of where we're going.
Any other comments from anyone on council? All right, we'll move to item B.
Oh, no, you gotta
I guess
vote.
we got to vote. I'm sorry. All right, I make a motion to approve item 24-267.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
It was a dueling second. What do we get? City Clerk. Who pushed the button? Did you click on it? But you heard Mr.
I
Estes.
don't know. I tried, but my little keypad's not. Oh,
Did you refresh? Okay. Councilman Estes. So it's been properly moved by the chair, Councilmember Watts, and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 24-267. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns as it relates to this item of purchasing that commercial site, the Airway Christian Academy and adjacent building on Spring Street? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-267 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to item B. Adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2024-2025 general fund budget. Ms. Callen will handle this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, with this property purchase was not included in the budget when we developed it this past March. So this incorporates that into our current year's budget, and it will come out of general fund balance.
Any questions or comments?
We do have a healthy general fund balance. We have a healthy balance in the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, if there are no other questions or comments, thank you, Ms. Callen. I make a motion to approve 24-270.
Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. We have a motion to approve item 24-270. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-270. Do we have any concerns, questions, comments from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-270 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all we had tonight under finance.
Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate that. We'll move on then to item number 10, which is Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business for the Housing and Community Affairs Committee this evening.
Thank you, sir. Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. We'll come back to you, Councilman Estes, for Personnel and Organization Committee.
And also tonight, for the Personnel and Organization Committee, we have no business.
Thank you, sir. Now, we do have business on the next committee, which is item 13, Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Yep. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We do have several items this evening. The first item is item number 24-261. That is to consider a request for final plat approval for the purpose of establishing the 121-unit townhome community of Chestnut Grove on 13.28 acres on Van Sant Road in land lots 902, 909, 910, District 18, Section 2, parcel ID 0902-182-0018. Application by Starlight Homes, and Mr. James Gordon is down here to answer any questions that we may have about this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. James Gordon,
Good evening.
6695 Church Street. This is a new townhome development of 121 units, and I have no further comments from what we discussed on Thursday. But I will answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Excuse me, I don't know why, I felt like there was something that we were doing an update on this item, was it not? No, that must just be in my mind then, because I don't see anyone looking at me for that information. Okay, council, did you guys have any questions regarding this item? No? With that being said, then I make a motion that we approve item 24-261.
Thank you so much. Madam Chairman, we have a motion to approve item 24-261. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Hudson. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair, Councilmember Miller in, and second by Councilmember Hudson to approve item 24-261. Do we have any comments, questions, concerns as it relates to this item? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-261 is unanimously approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Oops. Stop. Oops. Okay. Moving along. Item 24-249, that is to consider a petition to annex 10.21 acres at West Seward Mill Road and Seward Mill Road in Land Lot 11, District 1, Section 5, parcel ID 0011-015-0222, application by Seward Mill Holdings. And our very own Ms. Shayla Reed is down here to answer any questions we may have about this item.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Shayla Reed, Community Development Director, 6695 Church Street. There are no updates on this particular item.
Okay, thank you so much.
And point of order, we will need to consider item C and vote on item C prior to voting on item B.
Okay,
So we're going to switch it around.
let's do that then. Let's move down to item C right quick,
Okay.
which is item 24-224, says to consider a request for a change in zoning from PRD-C to PUD for 10.21 acres located at the intersection of Seward Mill Road and West Seward Mill Road in Land Lot 11, District 1, Section 5, parcel ID 0011-015-0222, application by Stewart Mill Holdings. And Ms. Shayla Reed is still down here for us.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. There are no updates here as well. Thank you.
Okay. I know that these two items are connected, and I know that we had quite a bit of discussion regarding these two items last week, and kind of the going back and forth. I don't know, Ms. Deputy City Manager, did you have anything to add to this?
Only thing I have to add is that I did speak with the Deputy County Administrator. She stated that they have not filed for an official ejection letter as it relates to the state of Georgia. As Ms. Miranda Jordan and Ms. Shayla Reed talked about on Thursday, that you must file an official objection letter in order to have an objection. She did talk about the resolution that they sent over to the city, but as it relates to any type of fire service agreement or anything, she stated that to proceed as usual as to our usual, I guess, annexation information that we receive from the county
Okay.
when
thank
it
you
relates
for
to
that.
fire services and whether they have enough or they have the bandwidth to service the community.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you. And going through these types of applications, I know that you guys do have those conversations with the police department, WSA, the fire department, and it's my understanding that everyone has given this project their stamp of approval that they'll be able to cover it, is that correct?
They've given confirmation that they've reviewed it with no objections as far as the staff.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Council, did you guys have any questions or comments regarding this item?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Reed, and thank you, Councilwoman Miller N. Yes, my comment, I have spoken specifically with residents that live on Stewart Mill, just like the whole, near the elementary school, the child care center. Well, of course, parents don't live there, but they do transport their children. And I've driven that road in the morning. Although I do know that at some point there will be, it's zoned for what it's can be built there at this time. However, the congestion right there on that 2-lane is very, very, very tight. So I just wanted to make my comments that with the city, we don't always have to accept an annexation. The project itself is a good project, but listening to the residents, I just made a decision. Thank you.
Thank you for
Okay,
that.
you're welcome.
I know that there was a traffic study done, which of course came back and said that there were no immediate issues. But do we know, are there any other studies going on at this time relating to that particular area of any traffic upgrades or anything like that?
No, ma'am, that was the only requirement that they had.
Okay. Coach?
One thing I would like to point out is that particular intersection was just improved. Was it not? Yeah, so, I mean, it's been widened and turning lanes is better than it was right there.
Right, okay. And I know, I know the two items are actually separate, but it's hard to not combine them and saying that as it is currently zoned, it could be a higher density project. It's currently zoned for apartments.
Right.
So I feel like this down zoning is actually a good use for that land and probably the best possible scenario for the area. And looking at the development and seeing that they've given us what we've been asking for as far as the rear load garages, 2 entrance and exits, and 2-car garages, because I know some of our residents, like birthday girls, have been talking to us about 2-car garages for a very long time. So there's my 2 cents on that. But Council,
I have a question. Yes, Councilwoman Miller, can I know that there's been a traffic study, and the traffic study was completed right there at the intersection. Can we please make sure that if this passes, that there is some consideration with the traffic that will happen right on Stewart Mill in front of Arbor Station Elementary and the child care centers? I mean, I'm not sure if, I do see a police officer out there, but can we at least make sure that the school, the residents, because some of them may not even know about the development, that there is a safe route.
Are you saying as in like conditions to it?
Well, I just want
or-
to make sure that there are safer routes. Like sometimes, most of the time, there's a police officer, a resource officer that's directing traffic. You cannot get out of that child care center to turn right or left in the morning, like between, I would say, 7 and about 8:30. It's jammed. So I'm asking safe routes for kids, or is there anything else that we can look at? The traffic study just looks at the intersection, but
Right.
it doesn't always look at, in my opinion, looking at the study, the 2-lane. They looked at the intersection improvement, but it didn't really include a lot about the surrounding. So can we just make sure that we look at all areas? There are no sidewalks there either.
Without putting it in writing, I don't think it would hold much. Coach, you look like you have something to add to that.
Well, I was going to ask, the right in and the right out, and maybe someone from the group that's here can answer this, but,
Thank you. That's a good point. That's a good question.
ma'am? I'm sorry.
That's a good question. Right in and right out?
Right, well, it
Is there
is,
someone here that
right
can
now,
answer the
it's
question?
right in and right out. But I guess what I was leading up to is, would there be a right-hand turning lane as part of that right in and right out, rather than just turning right off the road itself? So that's one question, and I guess I should have asked that the other night. And then also, as we know, sometimes people don't follow directions, so I don't know to what, how anybody wanting to make a left illegally out of there, how that's prevented. I'm assuming something would be placed, some type of island that would make it difficult to make a left out of there. But I like the idea of a right in and right out on that one entrance of Stewart Mill Road. And I was just wondering about the turning lane, if people turning in there are going to have a right-in turning lane.
Councilman, if I can add to your comment before they speak, one thing that would be great, I'm making note to that comment and those desires. During the LDP phase, the letter can note to the applicant there have been concerns regarding the following, and then during that discussion of how that land disturbance will take place, they'll ensure that they'll be able to make those changes at that time.
So it's a little premature for me to bring that up now.
It's not. It's good to be able to put your concerns before the actual LDP process, because it makes it so that we're aware of those needed changes during that time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'll
Thank
pass
you.
the mic over.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Aaron
Good evening.
McCullough, 6554 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. So, Councilman, let me reiterate the questions, if you don't mind, so I'll make sure I answer those 2 questions that you had, correct?
Yes.
One was concerning the entrance on West Stewart Mill Road.
Yes, sir.
So, on
No,
the plan, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, it's, Stewart Mill Road is where it looks like on the drawing is the right in and right out. West Stewart Mill Road does not have a restriction on how to turn in and turn out, but on page 4, it shows on Stewart Mill Road a right in and right out on that entrance. And so I was curious if that would include a turn lane for that right in, rather than just turning right off the road, if there'd be a way for folks to get over to make that turn.
Yes, sir, that would be what we would term a deceleration lane.
Right,
Yes, sir,
right.
that is correct.
Okay. And then the left out, would be prevented, I would imagine, by some type of cement, some way where people can't make that left.
Yes, sir, a concrete barrier.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, those were my questions. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Did anyone else? Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. We were told on Thursday that these were, that the garages were rear entry. I guess this is more for the engineers, but looking at the plan, I think that's a rather disingenuous definition of what's considered rear and front, because the front's all, the front entry is all facing sidewalks, okay, which is fine, except the sidewalks are all within the private areas or the private park areas. The garages are what face the actual street. So as far as I'm concerned, that's still a garage for the front door. You know, I mean, anybody who drives through there is not going to get out and walk on the sidewalks. They're going to see all garages. So it's really not, this isn't a rear garage type situation. It's really a front door. The garages are the front doors. The other quick question I do have is also, my understanding is the reason we have the right turn in, right turn out is because that Stewart Mill entry is too close to the intersection, and I don't remember off the top of my head what the distance is you have to have between intersections, but it almost seems like if you just simply shifted that last row of 6 houses to the east, you might, I don't know if that would give you the required distance, but you would certainly add a couple hundred, or maybe another 100 feet or so onto that distance from the interchange. That might give you the opportunity to put a traffic light at that point. I understand you're too close to the intersection where it is now, but that's just a thought regarding the layout as it's presented. But I did want to make sure that folks understood that even though they may define these as front entry houses, there really are garage entries. So,
Understood.
thank you.
Thank you for that. Was there anyone else? No.
Just
Madam Mayor. Yes,
I know this is really, C is not, we've really been going into item B. But I understand why, because we're talking about the annexation portion. So I really don't have any questions or concerns outside to reiterate that it's already zoned in the county, and it would be more dense if it were to stay in the county and not come into the city. Because those would be strictly apartments. And the other thing is, when I drove the other day, there is and Deputy Chief, you can help me on this one, there is a flashing light. Isn't there a flashing light right in that area near the school?
I think it's for the school to slow down traffic.
Okay. Yeah, so because I probably went at school time, but there's a light to kind of get the traffic to calming, to kind of slow down before they would get to this development coming from Arbor Station Elementary School. So, but thank you so much. That's all I had to add to the conversation.
Thank you so much for that. Ms. Reed, is there anything that we need to do at this time as far as conditions go to look at any remedies for the school and traffic alleviation at this point in time?
Unless there's, I guess, a condition you would like to look at, I think the only thing that we can note is that there's a comment and concern regarding traffic for that particular area. Marcus and I can work together to ensure that during the time of the LDP, we can ensure that we're looking at remedies. But they, of course, it's not a condition, so it wouldn't be something that's holding them to that. It's just something that we're going to say that moving forward, we'll ensure that they're considering changes if necessary.
Dr. Berdanley, does that help at all?
It's a good answer. Thank you.
I know we don't really have like a standard protocol for stuff like that, so I'm just kind of on a whim, I'm trying to think outside the box how to help remedy that situation, I guess, before we get there. I'm open to suggestions, though.
Right.
I would say one additional concern that I would have is not, to Councilman Watts' point, yes, there's been some great intersection improvements that have occurred at that particular intersection, but one place that has not seen any improvements is the entrance into Arbor Station, where there is not a turn lane, nor is there a bypass lane. So in the mornings, you know, to Councilwoman Verdanley's point, that's a traffic nightmare, as it is currently. And the concern I have is adding these.
Are you referring to the school?
No,
or-
to Arbor Station, to the Arbor Station neighborhood. There's a
Okay.
traffic light there, so if somebody comes up and is turning left heading southbound on Stewart Mill, there's a long backup of cars there because there's no bypass lane right now. And so that's a traffic issue that that's a case of where my point from Thursday was where these traffic concerns get kicked down the road, and that's the part of the road where it gets kicked down to. Because that's not part of the study, there's nothing they can do about it here because it's not adjacent to the property. But it's a fallout from developments like this that occur that affect other parts outside of the immediate vicinity. So at the entrance to Arbor Station is kind of it's drastically affected by what happens here.
So I was specifically, though, referring to, I think, that school traffic that Dr.
Well, that's an issue too. That's a separate
Right.
issue. That's one issue, but what I'm bringing up is another issue where there is also a traffic problem, which is during rush hours in the afternoon and in
Right.
the morning, people are trying to get in and out of Arbor Station. You've got a problem there because as it is now, the traffic is heavily. But there's no way to there's no bypass lane there. Traffic just simply backs up while waiting for somebody to turn.
Right, that's true.
But I don't know that there's any short-term solution. I mean, schools have traffic at certain times of day. I just kind of keep that in mind when I'm traveling around, but I don't know that there's anything that we can mitigate that has to do with this development that would improve that or.
My helicopter's on order. I haven't, it hasn't
There you
flown
go.
yet, so I'm waiting for that.
So I just wanted to make sure that we were doing everything that we needed to as far as ensuring that the children and their families were safe going to and from school.
And not just from school, to and from school, and you're correct, Councilwoman Miller, and I agree with Councilman Miller T, is that during rush hour, and even during, like on the weekends, when there aren't any sidewalks right there. So sometimes you don't really know the answer until it happens, until the development happens. But I'm glad that we are having some dialogue about safety and pedestrians, bicyclists, motorcyclists, just getting our brain thinking about what can we do. But thank you.
Thank you. Coach, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor had one more.
Yeah, that's the only thing, just because we're having this dialogue, I think, I know that we did present the county with several projects that spill over into city and county traffic, and we presented several projects for the T-SPLOST that will be voted on in November. And as Mayor Pro Tem said, that this will try to help with some of the infrastructure concerns we have in the community. But I think as far as this development is concerned, all the existing issues and problems, it would be unfair to put the burden on this development to say you need to fix all those issues that have been longstanding. And they, in good faith, they've already presented issues before we ask to try to alleviate some of the concerns with traffic with that West Stewart Mill right in, right out, and other things. And as Ms. Director Reed has said, we can make note, they hear us talking. Knowing individuals that we know in the community, it doesn't seem like they would, they live here, that they would not take those things into consideration and do some of the concerns the best that they can as they move forward with development, if it is annexed into the city. And so again, even if we don't say yes, and I'm not telling you all how to vote because I only vote in case of a tie, which could possibly happen, I don't think it's fair to put all the concerns on them. And if it is not voted into the city, they can still develop it currently as it is in the county, and it will be more dense. So that means more of all the things we just talked about as it concerns and relates to traffic. So those are my comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Coach. I think that you had another.
I'm sorry that this didn't come up Thursday night. Is sidewalks inside and out, like some developments have a sidewalk that goes around its perimeter along a road like Stewart Mill and West Stewart Mill. Is that part of this project, sidewalks?
I believe it's required.
I knew it would be required within the development, but I was wondering about on the backside between the homes and the road on West Stewart Mill and on Stewart Mill.
Are you speaking internally as far as within the development?
On the outside edge that goes around the main roads there.
Okay.
Are sidewalks usually part of that?
Let me defer to the applicant on that one.
They're shaking their heads, yes.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I should have asked that Thursday night. I didn't think about it.
That's quite all right. Aaron McCullough again, 6554 Church Street. Yes, there are sidewalks internal and external around the perimeter of the entire property, yes. Along public right-of-way, yes.
Thank you for that.
That's great. Thank you. That's all.
And when I brought up the traffic alleviation, I think I was talking more like safe crosswalks and things of that nature. I wasn't asking for like bridges or overpasses or anything like that. So,
No,
okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
Council, do we have any more questions or comments? I know that this was, you've been awfully quiet over there. Okay. Well, guys, I know that there's been a lot of conversation about this. I hope that you guys are all okay with this, but I'm going to go ahead and make a motion. Then, where's my item number? I'm on the wrong thing, aren't I?
D,
Yeah, but we had to skip down to C, so I've got to.
or C, I apologize, I'm looking at D, it's C.
Thank you. I make a motion then that we approve item 24-224.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. We have a motion to approve item 24-224. Do we have may I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-224. Do we have any additional comments or questions? I know we've had lots of debate and concerns and deliberation and all of that, talking about this item. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving item 24-224, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Nay.
Nay.
Okay, we need a hand. Did you get the vote on the machine, or do you need us to raise hands, or how's it? You've done it on the machine? Okay, so it looks like the majority is 4-2, is that correct? Okay. All right, so majority rules, so item 24-224 is approved.
I'll go back. Okay. Thank you. Now we're going to pedal back to item, right?
B,
Item number 24-249.
yes, ma'am.
I kind of feel like we've combined all this conversation into one, but do you guys have any further questions or comments regarding this item? And staff, did you have anything that you'd like to add to this as well?
No, ma'am, I do not. I don't know if Ms. Reed has something to add.
No, ma'am, I have no
No.
updates.
Okay. Is there any new news or anything from the applicant that you guys would like to add? No? Guys, with that being said, then, I make a motion that we approve item 24-249.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. I have a motion to approve item 24-249. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Coach Watts. It's been properly moved by the Chair, Councilmember Nicole Miller, and second by Councilmember Watts to approve item 24-249. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Thank you. The ayes have it. It looks like majority rules again, 4-2. So item 24-249 is approved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Moving on. Item 24-227 is to consider proposed amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance for subsections 2.02, 8.01, and 13.02 to provide clarification regarding data center usage. And Ms. Shayla Reed is going to go over this item with us.
Yes, ma'am. There's no updates for this as well, but just a reminder, this is only just to apply, I guess, classification or clarity for staff, so that we're able to allow for the use to be where it should go versus where the confusion was lying before the text
Right.
amendment.
Okay, thank you. I know we had extensive conversation on this item as well last week. Council, did you guys have any questions regarding this item? No. With that being said, then, guys, I make a motion that we approve item 24-227.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to move by the Chair, Councilmember Nicole Miller, and second by Councilmember Howard Estes to approve item 24-227. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns as it relates to this item? You know, this helps us with our parking, so we don't have to look at every development each time. It's going to be changed in the Uniform Development Ordinance for the city, so it'll help those that are coming in with this particular item or development for data centers. Okay? I don't see any other comments, questions, or concerns. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 24-227 is unanimously approved.
Okay, thank you.
227, that was a show.
All right, friends, last item.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 24-257 says to refer to the Planning Commission proposed ordinance to amend Articles 10, 11, and 12 of the Unified Development Ordinance regarding Georgia's zoning procedures law.
Okay.
No, that, oh, snap. I forgot which item this one was. Okay, thank you. Took me a second. I know that there was a little bit of confusion on this one last week. Coach, do you have any questions or no? All right. Anyone? Ms. Shayla Reed, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I just understand it's very lengthy, but we have time to still, give to you for that review because it's just going to go to the planning commission. It's going to come back to you before adoption, but I'm open for any questions that you all may have before that time because it is very lengthy of a document.
So that means, will it go to the planning commission on this round for them? And
Yes, it
then
will.
It will come back to us. Will it come back to us on our next round of meetings or after that?
I think, Miranda, we put it on I think it's not the 15th, I think it's that first September meeting,
Okay.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or, let me confirm that. I
That's-
don't have it on
But
in
that's
front
good
of
to
me.
know. Either way, it gives us a little more time to understand that one. Okay, thank you
We have
so
time, yep.
much. Okay. With that being said, then, I make a motion that we approve item 24-257.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Watts. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair. Councilmember Miller in, is second by Coach Watts to approve item 24-257. Do we have any additional comments, questions, or concerns as it relates to this item that we're putting on the Uniform Development Ordinance for the city with the updates from Georgia's zoning procedure law? It's not changing how we, Coach had that question, but you're clear. Okay, good. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-257 is unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That is all that we have this evening for planning and development.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman, and we appreciate the support that our staff has given us with Director Shayla Reed for Community Development. So we'll move on then to Councilmember Miller, if you don't stay parked at the Public Improvement and Beautification Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening for public improvement and beautification.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Relations Committee, I'll ask the Mayor Pro Tem if you don't mind taking that committee, please.
Certainly, Madam Mayor, we have no business under the Public Relations Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, we do have items under that, and it's chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have two items tonight that we had discussion on Thursday.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the first item is item number 24-230.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hold a public hearing to consider a request for the transfer of location for the alcoholic beverage license for the on-premises sale and consumption of wine and malt beverages and spirited liquor at the following establishment. Current licensure is Red Velvet Bistro, LLC. Current location is 12377 Veterans Memorial Highway. Proposed location is 12375 Veterans Memorial Highway. Current agent outlet. Manager is Ms. Phelps, and the required fees have been paid on this finance department. Do we have any questions for Ms. Phelps at this time from our mayor and council? Okay. If there are no questions, congratulations, Ms. Phelps, on your new location. I make a motion that we approve item 24-230.
Do we have to hold another public
Sorry,
hearing?
that's right. Hold a public hearing.
No
I'm a new Grammy, so my mind is all discombobulated.
I know it.
Yes, so I would like to hold a public hearing right now. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak for this application? No? Okay. Do we have anyone who would like to speak against this application? All right. Ms. Cindy, are you coming down to speak? No, she's not. Okay. So there are no fors, there are no against. So I make a motion that we approve item 24230.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. We have a motion to approve item 24-230 for the Red Velvet Bistro and changing of the outlet manager to Ms. Phelps. Do we have any, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair, Councilmember Dr. Burdanley, and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 24-230. Do we have any additional comments, questions, concerns? We have not had any responses from the audience in objection or support. The public hearing, not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 24-230 is unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have a second item
Yes,
And we
ma'am.
will hold a public hearing to consider a request for the alcohol beverage license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverages and spirit liquor at the following location. Proposed license is Guyan Hospitality LLC, DBA Beyond Water, Wine, and Spirits. Proposed location is 991 Thornton Road. Proposed outlet manager is Mr. Patel. The required fees have been paid into the Finance Department. Before I hold the public hearing, I'd like to ask, are there any questions from our mayor and council to Mr. Patel or his attorney? No? All right, so I would like to hold the public hearing, open the public hearing. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak for this item? Item number 24-231.
Okay.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak against this applicant? All right, if not, then there are no fors, there are no against. So I'll make a motion that we approve item 24-231, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have a motion to approve item 24-231. Do we have any questions, concerns, or issues as it relates to this item from the elected officials? I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. We didn't have any other concerns before I made the motion to have a second. So not hearing any feedback, all those in favor of approving item 24-231, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-231 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no other items under public safety, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. We appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll move on then to item 17, which is the Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. Our Technology Committee is chaired by Councilmember Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Technology Committee this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move on then to item number 19, which is Transportation Committee. There is an item there for Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley, and before she brings it to the forefront, I would ask the council members to draw your attention to a letter that I have attached to this item to go to Georgia Department of Transportation Commissioner McMurray. Thank you, Dr. Burdanley. It's your committee, Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item, and we did discuss this as well on Thursday. Authorize the mayor to sign the request for traffic signal application for the Georgia Department of Transportation to permit the traffic signals located at Dallas Highway and Colquitt Street, Dallas Highway and Ellis Street, Dallas Highway and Malone Road, Dallas Highway and Malone Street. Are there any questions, Madam Mayor or council, in regards to this item? No? And thank you, Madam Mayor. The letter is crafted very well. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for acknowledging the letter. I just wanted to get the approval of you all before I sent it on our behalf. And thank you. And secondly, the staff, this is an ancillary that kind of is related to this item for Malone Street. There was a concern about a down light that Councilman Davis brought to our attention.
Yes.
Do we have
do.
that?
Yes, just an update on that. You're right, Madam Mayor. Councilman Davis had mentioned there was, and it's not a light, it wasn't a light for pedestrians. It's on the little triangle at the intersection of 92 and Malone Road. That is down, but GDOT has to come and pick that up. I've spoken with our city manager. It's wiring at the bottom. So I've spoken to some residents who have called about that, but just to let you know that that is the property of GDOT. They will get the estimated time that they'll pick it up, but it's already been requested. Also, there is another one that's down on Rose Avenue and the street that goes towards Walmart. So I'm not sure. It looks like someone is, Concourse, yes, have, like, ran into them. So just sounds like it. The lighting, I'm not sure, but that one is down too. I didn't notice that until yesterday. Okay. So with, if there are no questions, Madam Mayor, we've addressed the letter, and do you mind if I shared the letter with the residents that live
no,
in the subdivision? Thank you. They'll be glad to see that.
That's fine.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll make a motion that we approve item 24-258.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. We have a motion to approve item 24-258. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. I had dueling seconds. Who won the draw? Mr. Miller. Thank you. It's been properly moved in second, moved by the chair, Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley, and second by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller to approve item 24-258. We have had some discussion and opening the floor for if there are any other questions, comments, or concerns as it relates to this item. I don't see any. Thank you so much. All of those in favor of approving item 24-258, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 24-258 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no other items under transportation.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Burdanley, and to our city engineer, Mr. Marcus Thompson. I know you had your ears on about those other issues with the lights being down. Thank you so much. So now we'll move on to item 20 under other business. Is there any other business to come before council tonight from council members? I know, Councilman Watts, you did mention at the start of the meeting that there was an item that you wanted to highlight under the consent agenda, so if you don't mind talking about that.
Just item, it was item 24-244, had to do with the, basically the improvements to that way in and out there by Coles on, at Heritage Valley Drive, the intersection of Heritage Valley Drive and Stewart Mill Road.
Yes, sir.
There'd been some concerns expressed to us, and that's going to be dealt with. And Ms. Welch has raised a lot of those concerns. And it looks like, what was explained to us by, in fact, let's have our engineer come forward just real quick. And
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I know this is off script, but just give us a brief rundown of what's going to be done there.
Yeah, sure.
At that intersection.
Marcus Thompson, city engineer, 6695 Church Street. So basically what we're going to do is basically extend the concrete median to a point where it makes it pretty much impossible for a car to make that left-hand turn. Also, there will be striping improvements, signage, overhead signage as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
That should put a stop to it.
Yeah, yes,
Unless
sir.
somebody's really motivated with a big vehicle and four-wheel drive, but anyway, we'll take that as it comes. I just wanted to present that. Anybody got anything to add to that?
Aren't we going to call it the Sidney Walsh honorary concrete barrier? Isn't that what?
And I think it's particularly appropriate that that is now the city's birthday present to Ms. Welch.
Yes, that's right.
Happy birthday.
But seriously, I'll just take this moment to say to all citizens out there listening or sitting in the audience tonight, is we do hear you. We like it when you show up and tell us things and tell us your concerns or even brag on us if you so desire. But, we have a staff that works very hard in all of our departments, and but we do appreciate feedback. Sometimes, unless we get a phone call or an email, sometimes showing up at a meeting is the only way we get some feedback that we need to get. So thank you, Mr. Thompson. And Madam Mayor, that's all I had to.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you to our city engineer. Under other business, before I open it up to other council members, I did, before I had forgotten, wanted to bring highlight to this issue as well that was raised during the legislative work session by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller about a contract that was awarded to a company for the restroom in Hunter Park. And so that was pulled from the agenda because of the concerns and for validity to do a comparison in pricing for that bid as well as schematic designs for drawings. Even though it was pre-approved government contracts from the state, we take every concern seriously, and so we definitely want to, if there were some issues that Mayor Pro Tem brought to the forefront, having his expertise in architecture, we definitely want to highlight and talk about that. It is going to put the project behind 6 to 8 weeks to put it back out there, but we want to be fair and make certain that everything is, that we're being very conservative and spending the citizens' taxpayer dollars in a responsible way. So that item was pulled from the agenda. All righty. The only other thing I had was for us to be praying for our fellow Georgians in South Georgia. I know we've gotten a lot of, Mayor Van Johnson sent me an alert that he sent out to the city of Savannah. Some of the students have already gone to campus. They're due next week, but they had to shut down everything in Savannah for Hurricane or Storm Debbie. So if we can keep them in our prayers in South Georgia and in Florida as that storm is coming in that area. So everything is shut down in Savannah. Any other business from council members? Thank you. I don't see any. We'll move on then to updates from our city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Colonel Dotson. Our staff attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan.
No business, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Jordan. Our police department, our deputy chief, J.R. Davison.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chief. Our deputy city manager, Ms. Chelsea Jackson.
Yes, just two things, of course. After tonight's council meeting, if you have time, we have Food Truck Monday going on, just, immediately in front of the conference center. And then also regarding the two crosswalks that Councilmember Danley mentioned, our Assistant Public Services Director, Melissa Burdette, did let me know that they have spoken with GDOT and they will be fixed in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you so much. Deputy City Manager, did we have, I was trying to do my scheduling for the fall. This is private on the side, but it affects the council as well. The fastest growing city in the country is Huntsville, Alabama. Didn't we have a trip scheduled there for the council?
Yes, so City Manager Marsha Hampton, she did speak to you all about possibly doing a link trip to Huntsville, Alabama. Some of the dates when we talked to their mayor and council and their staff, they coincided with ours. They didn't go, so what we'll do is we'll try to revisit that in the spring or next year. So yes, we did have one planned, but the dates did not work.
We weren't able to work out all the details.
Yes.
Oh, right. So I know that as one of our citizens talked to us about development and all of that, that we are always trying to be on the vanguard to see what's going on and how it can affect the city of Douglasville. And that was one of the issues, to have that link trip to Huntsville. And I know we have another trip that's scheduled for the Marvel Theater something, but that's aside. Is that in Fayetteville?
Yes, so you do have a trip coming up August 22nd, I believe. I know Karen Callan and Marsha Hampton will be visiting Fayetteville. I think Salt Truth you all will be visiting.
Yes.
So yes, ma'am.
As we grow with our film and the community as well. All righty. Well, that's it from our Deputy City Manager. You don't have any other concerns? All right. Thank you so much. Now we've come to the point, item 22, comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward. Give us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business germane to the city of Douglasville. Okay. Don't have any comments? All right. If we don't have any other comments and you all are hungry, go out to the food trucks. Not having any other business, this meeting is adjourned.